What is going on, guys? The Difference is All Gaming with my review of Seraph of the End episode 5. And this episode, to be honest, it was rather slow because it did not pick up really till like halfway through. But the episode itself, at least where we got the new stuff and not that small recap about the vampires going to war, we see now that the Imperial, Demon Army, they are now having this meeting, and I'm guessing that people in this meeting, were like all these different branch leaders, and they were like this one older looking gentleman that like definitely seen him battle with like vampires, and this guy just looks so messed up because first of all, you see like some kind of metal device around his neck, and then he also has like part of his face or his head, covered up. But we see now that like Guren, this guy is a complete asshole because not only was he like sleeping through the meeting, but he showed no respect. And there was like this one guy, talking through it, and we learn now that this guy, I believe the name was like Hiragi or something like that, but pretty much his family pretty much controls all of the army, and Guren's family is no more than the branch side of things. So even though he is like related to the leadership, to the leaders, he does not have control like they do. And we see now even this, even this guy that like seems to like rule it all, even though he knows, what like Guren is to them, even though the guy cannot do that much, like Guren still does not care. And we see now that when he was going to leave, there was like this one guy who like a straight up punk. And he was like bad mouthing Guren. So I do wonder, like why in the world did they treat him so badly? Because even if he is, a branch family member, he still to have more respect than that. So I do wonder, why wasn't like that? But we see now that once Guren left, he was attacked by you. But obviously, Guren here is definitely a lot more, experienced than him. So not only did he like stop his kick, but he also counterattack as well. But we see now you was still so obsessed with like getting revenge that like Guren will actually allow him to actually take the demon, like demon ceremony, where he'll get his own weapon or cursed gear as they call it. But now we see that when he went back, of course, Shinowa was there as well. And we see Shinowa already know what happened, but like she pretended, to not know at first. But we see now that, even when you was not sure if Guren was like serious or not, Shinowa told him that he does keep his word, and that right there is word true, especially at the end. But now we get like more scenes with like Mika, and this like and it character to me personally, it's like definitely interesting because we see now even when he is a vampire, he's still trying to cling on to like humanity, because we see now that when he was looking at some airplane leaving out, we have that other noble there we have that other noble that like pretty much I'm sure everybody hates, and he was like, with the war going on, he was sure that like Mika could meet his personal angel, who was you of course, but Mika said nothing and just walked away. And so now we see that while Mika was walking, he passed a bunch of kids on the street, and obviously that right there had to remind him, of his old family. And not only that, when he went back to his home, to his former home, it turned out, that some kids actually moved in there. And not only that, when one of those kids who like a little boy, that kid actually got scared for a moment, and Mika, what going to be nice, and try to calm him down, but like I'm guessing that was his older sister. She had came there and and protected her brother, and I'm pretty sure that right there definitely was like pulling on the strings of his heart, because even though he is a vampire, I'm pretty sure, and even though he claimed to have given up humanity, I'm pretty sure that Mika definitely wished that he was still human, and I'm pretty sure he definitely has those feelings as human as well, because there is no way this guy is cold and ruthless like the vampire we have seen so far. But now going back to in school, it turns out they were like some kind of test, and they would learn. I'm guessing, this test would like help them determine if they were compatible with like with the cursed gear or not. And you actually got a 0, and then we have Shinra, like running around, with his test. And Shinra was like definitely a troll, but to me, even with her character, it definitely kind of mysterious because she appears out of nowhere most of the time, and she knows pretty much everything. She definitely like just like much of the comedy and shows as well, and that right there, is where her character shines because the way she acts for like these different individuals, to me that they're like something special. And even when Yu is still acting all big and bad because he still believes that he does not need comrades or friends to kill vampires. When Kimi, the pink hair boy, when they actually made fun of him as well, and you was like wondering what he got, we actually learn now that he actually got like a perfect 100 on everything. So Kimi is like definitely smart. And so obviously that really definitely set you off. And once again, we have Kimi and you going back and forth because that really is the thing. Even though they did become friends, at the end of the last week episode, these two were like always butt heads because that right there is their dynamic, and that right there is what makes their like friendship rivalry like so strong. But then we have Guren who finally returns, after 10 days because that's how long he's been gone. Now we have no idea if he was at the meeting for that long because he could be somewhere else. But he abandoned that class for like 10 days, and there was this girl, I believe her name was like Seraph, something like that. But she was pretty much acting as the teacher for now. But now we see, once again, he was like bringing up, like getting his cursed gear because like to him, even though he failed these tests, you felt like he was ready. And even when Guren, as Seru or whatever her name is, if the kid was like ready for that, we learn now that when she was 16, because we have no idea who she is now, but Yu and Kimi, they surpassed her when she was 16, but the highest person with like the highest compatibility with like demons, that right there is Yoshi. And even though this guy seems the weakest, he will definitely be a major threat once he gets a weapon because that right there is obvious. So that really, should be interesting to see how much a character can grow once he gets his own, cursed gear. But now we have Guren bringing out his sword now because he has a test for them, and this test is he wants to see if these kids can like endure this attack. And so now we see kids falling left to right, and we have Yu. He was still standing, but Kimi here, he was struggling, and what's the name, Yoshi. This guy was acting like nothing was going on because he was just looking around, and this guy was like perfectly fine. He was like more concerned for the other kids than his own being. And even the teacher, Saberyu, she had to use some kind of talisman so that she can endure it. But afterwards, there was you, Kimi, and Yoshi, of course, and another Shinowa. She was like also standing, and there were like two kids as well standing, but these kids were like fathers, so obviously they passed out rather quickly. But we see now that like Kimi here almost failed because he actually had to use just like this as support. And so now we see that while they were walking to where the ceremony will take place, we see now that the teacher or the sub teacher, she had wanted Yoshi to go back because she felt like he did not have the strength, to do this. And even Kimi and Yu were like telling him that he should go back as well. And Guren was like getting so tired of this that he had no choice but to come out and ask Yoshi himself what he wanted to do because they were here with obviously his choice. But like thinking back when it passed once again, he actually wants to do this because he wants strength so that he can never lose like someone again. And you, even though these two are so different, you was like realizing that like these two are pretty much one and the same, which is why like secretly, even though you did not act like it, he definitely cared about the guy. But now in the elevator, like they were bringing up like Kimi once again, how he almost passed out because he almost collapsed, but he used that desk to keep himself up. Oh, and there was like one thing I also got to bring up, and then here's something important. Shinonwa here is actually a part of the main family, which is why she was also able to act like nothing was happening, and which is why she was able to stand, but without using a talisman as well. And so that right there brings up a very interesting point, because I do wonder if she is the little sister of that guy that we saw at the beginning, but at least there were hiccup friends that her and Guren, they're like cousins, and so that right there also explains their relationship, and never also explain why like Shinua, is talking to him and treat him any kind of way, but I was showing him, the proper respect he deserves. But once they were, at the place where the ceremony will go down, we see now that like there were the giant demon faces, and in front of them was like a small shaman with a weapon, and so pretty much what they had to do was they had to pick the weapon they want, and pretty much, once it happened, that right there is where the ceremony will begin. But obviously, if they fail, they will either become demon themselves, or they'll be killed. But they will die anyway because Guren will kill them. And so now we see that, like once they all pick their weapons, it seemed like, you will get a sword because he did use one, in the beginning. It seems that that Kimi here will pick these we'll pick these daggers, and I'm not sure what Yoshi will use. I definitely know that it was shown at the beginning, but now we'll just skip that because it was already ruined for me that that Mika was still alive. So I definitely didn't want anything else to be ruined for me, which is why I just skip it now. But so right now I forgot what he's going to use, and I don't believe we ever saw what she was going to use. So I do wonder what weapon will be, because that will be interesting. And sadly, we did it on a cliffhanger note, because it ended where you drew his sword, and now his own ritual will begin. So I do wonder how that will go. But the episode itself, it was good, but like I said, it was kind of slow at first. Like to me, it definitely did pick up. To the middle part, where like Guren came back in, and that right there is where he gave him their test. So overall, it was like pretty decent, but like kind of slow. And so for that, I feel like it deserved probably a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. But I feel like that would be too low. But as always, guys, let me know what you all thought, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.